so that I want to explain this resource so that you can go back in and use it. And we're going to just try some things on for size as we go here. So Namaskar A is the Sanskrit name honoring the roots of yoga that has its origins in South Asia, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Namaskar A is your basic sun salutation. If you ever heard of sun salutation, that's exactly what that is. And you can see those little GIFs are kind of showing you what a sun salutation looks like, right? It's a methodic movement connected to breath. It's kind of like a moving meditation, some people might say. So this visual is really nice because it kind of shows you again, right? It's a beginning and an end, right? You're inhaling, you're exhaling, you're inhaling, you're exhaling. You're doing all the movements with the breath. Now, sometimes people can get really caught up in like, oh, is it the inhale or is it the exhale? Honestly, if you're breathing, that's the most important thing, okay? On this particular slide, it does say exhale to go all the way, just chin, chest, knees, chin, and chest to the floor. That's an option. You know, inhaling up into this kind of shape here, you know, be really gentle on yourself and that lower back if this is the first time you're doing that, or if you don't do a lot of these forward and back bending poses. Listen to your body, and you're not going to be able to do it wrong. Okay, this is a list of the pose. I put the names of the poses in English as well as Sanskrit, which is the ancient language of yoga. So that's just a part of honoring the roots of yoga. And I'm not, you know, going to test you on that or anything like that. But if you ever heard somebody say Tadasana, that's the same thing as mountain pose, right? So those of you who are interested in it and, you know, maybe are into language and that kind of thing. It's just a piece of honoring the roots of yoga. So we can share the practices, we can try the practices on, and also just be aware of the history and the roots. This is a slide that I would recommend if you're watching this video and you're not live with me on Zoom. You know, this is a pretty good video that it's a very simple one where it shows this person doing this, but you have to remember the person in this video has probably done thousands of rounds of sun salutation in their life. Okay, so to think that you're going to look exactly like this video is just not even the goal. Okay, not even the goal. So that's why I would like to walk you through and you know, just try it on for size. And I want to show you lots of different options for doing a sun salutation. This slide, baby cobra, I am going to walk you through the baby cobra version of a sun salutation. Upward facing dog, I just think is a very problematic pose, especially if you don't have your upper body strength, core strength, back strength. There's a lot of, and flexibility. There's a lot of ways you can kind of hurt yourself with upward facing dog, and the chaturanga, the lowering down. There's just a lot of stuff that needs to be in place before you want to try something a little more advanced like that. And some teachers just throw that out there. But I think that the version I'm going to teach you is very accessible, and you can always work up from there. This is another version of a Namaskar A. It's a slightly different version with a lunge in there that feels really nice. So if you ever want to do this, only 5 minutes, this little practice here, you could always jump in there and try that one day for your movement log. Okay. So the fact of the matter is sun salutation A, Surya Namaskar A, is a moving meditation, right? And so I'm encouraging you to make it your own. I'm encouraging you to listen to your body, right? When I say chaturanga and upward facing dog, if I'm in plank on the floor, this is what I mean. Chaturanga is lowering halfway down. So you're hovering above the ground and then you lift yourself up into upward facing dog. You need a lot of strength and flexibility and just practice with sun salutations to really be able to do that safely. So I'm not teaching that version. I want you to come down to your knees until you're building core strength, upper body strength. Use your knees. And low cobra is just, it feels so good. So try it out. This is low cobra. Low cobra is the alternative to what I was talking about with the upward facing dog. So it's going to make more sense once we go in order here. Okay. So Tadasana, I want you to try this with me. You're going to stand with your arms by your side. Like I said, you can do all of these in the chair, right? So I'm going to attempt to show you both versions, but you just got to get creative when you're in the chair. Okay. So standing Arms down by your sides. Your strong roots are growing from the bottom of your feet down, down, down into the floor, into the earth beneath you. Your shoulders are relaxed down and away from the ears. This is what it looks like in the chair, right? Your feet are flat. You're scooting up toward the edge of the chair, arms down by your side. Crown of the head reaches up toward the ceiling. You're looking straight ahead. You're standing tall and proud like a mountain. All right, the next pose in a sun salutation is going to be the upward salute, right? Or it is, it's mountain pose with your arms extended, right? So you come from mountain pose and then you inhale your arms up. You still have your feet super rooted with the shoulders relaxed down away from the ears, okay? The next one is the forward fold in the sun salutation. Now in the chair, you might want to make some space for yourself to fold between your legs, or you can keep your legs together and fold over your legs. Whatever feels better for you. If you're standing, what this is going to look like is bending your knees a lot and then letting that torso just fall forward as much or as little as possible. If you have like a chair or anything as a prop, that might be helpful. If your arms are really hanging and not touching the ground, you can bring the ground to you by using a prop of some kind. If you happen to have a yoga block or just a chair or a table, anything nearby, right? So that forward fold is really about bending your knees a lot, okay? Your legs do not ever have to be straight for this pose. And this is your exhale pose. So you're going to be relaxing the head down, dangling the arms. You might even sway from side to side if it's your first forward fold. Really let that head feel like it's a bowling ball on a string and it's just hanging down, right? You're breathing here. So this is Uttanasana, standing forward fold. And then from the forward fold, we inhale and we do a halfway lift. So again, if you have a chair or some kind of prop, but really you can just take your hands to your shins and you're inhaling and finding a flat back. You're looking straight down. And it's like somebody could come put a tray of drinks on your back and it wouldn't fall, right? You're making a table with your spine here, right? On the inhale. Then you'll exhale and you're going to plant your hands and step back to plank pose, right? So we've folded, we've inhaled up to a flat back, we've planted our hands, we're stepping back into a plank pose here, right? I take an inhale on plank pose, so you do hold for a breath, and then you can take your knees down. This is where it starts getting into the options, right? You want to build just putting your knees down like that doesn't mean you're not building your core, right? So if it's not sustainable for you to hold the plank, right? Bring your knees down, but still really engage that core, okay? You stay for an inhale there. This is where you lower down to the ground. This is where I'm asking you, instead of chaturanga, that little GIF there is showing you what chaturanga looks like. See how she hovers and then she's going up? I mean, there's no reason for you to do that unless you feel strong and you want to go for it. Like, follow a video. I am not going to teach you the chaturanga version, okay? I'm going to show you a version on your knees. I'm going to show you how to do it just on your going straight down to the ground, right? But from a standing posture here, if you're with me, you can do this in the chair, or if you're standing, I want you to really pretend like you're in plank pose here. So press your hands out and you're really pressing, like you're pressing into the ground and you're kind of puffing that upper back, right? So you're super strong in your plank pose here. You're going to inhale and then you're going to exhale and you're going to hug those elbows toward your torso. And you're going to lower your body all the way down to the mat. So then your whole body is laying down onto the mat. Looks like this, right? We're in plank pose. We're inhaling. And then we're going to exhale. You can have your knees come down. Lower yourself slowly, slowly. All the way down to the ground. Okay? Of course, this is a moving meditation. We move with the breath. You're going to come into a baby cobra. After you lower all the way down, right? Then you're going to inhale to extend the spine, find length in the spine. You're hugging your shoulder blades together and you're just kind of looking up, just like that guy is in the little picture. Build your strength. This person is doing upward facing dog. Notice she's hovering her body off the ground. That is not what I'm asking you to do. Baby cobra, you keep your hips grounded on the floor, okay? Laying on your belly, hands under your shoulders, active legs, little to no weight in the hands. Lengthen the spine as you inhale, your head and shoulders up, looks like this. So we're inhaling to plank, exhale, lower down. Inhale. Squeeze, little to no weight in the hands. And then we're going to take it to downward facing dog, right? That's the final pose of the sun salutation. What? Where's my downward facing dog? That's my cobra pose versus upward facing dog, little explanation there if you want to watch that video. And then we exhale into downward facing dog. Usually once we get to this pose, we're going to be holding for 3 breaths, right? If downward facing dog, I mean, that person in the yellow has like a perfect triangle going on. Again, these pictures are from the internet. These are not real life. And these people in the pictures probably have done hundreds, thousands of rounds of sun salutations and other types of maybe physical yoga practices or other kind of, who knows what they're doing. Don't compare yourself to the pictures, listen to your body. Okay, so 2 choices here are downward facing dog or child's pose, right? So from here, we've inhaled cobra pose, and then we exhale to release. I usually take another breath to send my hips back. And so you're going to tuck your toes under and lift your hips for downward facing dog, right? It might feel like plank pose to you. You got to get those hips back and let your knees bend so then your hips can go up toward the ceiling, right? And we're breathing here. You can shake your head yes or no. You can really let that head just dangle as much as possible. Right? The other option here is to have your knees come down, probably like pretty wide, wider than your hips, toes to touch. If that feels good for you to come back into a child's pose, I encourage you to find something to rest your head on, whether it's down on the ground or if you have a block or something like that. Give yourself a little forehead massage, right? Another version of child's pose is puppy dog pose, because if you have any issues with your knees, actually sitting back on your hips could be uncomfortable. So you might try puppy dog pose, which keeps your hips kind of over your knees and it focuses on the upper body, just kind of releasing down, right? Walking your hands forward. So the stretch is more in the upper body, shoulders, arms, upper back, not as much in the hips, right? So all of these are options. Now, how do we get back up to mountain pose from here? We're almost done. I'm going to walk you through. We walk back up, we walk forward to Uttanasana again, the standing forward fold, right? And we do that through that halfway lift again. Okay. Right? We lift our arms up one last time. So these are the same poses we started with, and we end in Tadasana again. Ta-da! That's how you remember Tadasana, because you're like, ta-da. Okay, you guys ready? Let's move together. I hope you use this resource and, check it out